Welcome to the 2022 Revolution review. Now I want to get this done quickly because I don't want to do this at the end of the review because this thing's going to be probably long because there's a lot of stuff here. I'm going to talk about buy-in and the entire show. Now I want to make this clear. I'm not shilling for AEW. I'm going to tell you how the matches were, where the storylines were all right or not. You're going to get that compared to what JD or Jess Alex or Salamonster, they may say this is one of the best shows they've ever seen. I'm not going there. I'm going to tell you honestly what's going on. But I got to say this briefly. I have to compare AEW show compared to Impact Plus. I got to, because that's what they presented. When it comes to match quality, I'm making it very clear. Match quality, not production. Video production, audio production, lighting. That's something different. If you talk about match quality, you got one show that was maybe 2.5, near 3 hours, and you had a show that was beyond 3 hours, which was Revolution. Revolution had more matches, so they're here. Sacrifice is here. Not because they had bad matches. It's because they didn't have as many. Because they had a lot more. Understand that. Now, the quality of the matches. It was roughly about here. You got 95% to maybe 90 to 85%. That's not bad. Okay? That's not bad. Impact has issues when it comes to storylines and when it comes to how their matches are structured to a certain extent. But it doesn't mean they have bad matches. So I want to make that clear to anyone who sees this. Now, let's look at buy-in. What do we get? We got 3 matches on buy-in. I'm just going to blow through them quickly. Leia Hirsch versus Statlander. I think this could have been done on Dynamite. And it should have had a stipulation attached to it where one of them could gain something, particularly what was going on with Thunder Rosa and when it came to Britt Baker. I know they're trying to do the rating system where they do the matches, but they could have done something. It wasn't a bad match. But simply put, this should have been left for Dynamite. I'm being honest. Leia Hirsch won, but it could have been left for Dynamite. Now, we got the House of Black versus and I think this also could have been saved for Dynamite as well. The House of Black versus the Death Triangle and Redbeard, Eric Rowan, or just Rowan. Guys, I'm glad to see he's there. Now, I don't know if he's officially signed or not. This could be a couple of matches he's going to do. He'll be seen for a little bit, and then he's gone. Or he's actually signed, and he's part of Death Triangle until we get Pentagon's brother back, and maybe he'll stay with them after Phoenix comes back. I don't know. Maybe he'll stay along with Phoenix, or he'll disappear. He may just be hired for 6 months. That's a possibility. That's part of what they do over there. So he could be there for 6 months, or this could be like a 1 or 2 off. You never know. It was not about who won, even though the House of Black won. I just feel like it could have been left for Dynamite as well. It did not need to be there. They only needed one match for the kickoff show. I'm just saying. The final match, Hook versus QT Marshall, where I think this should have been left for the kickoff show. The buy-in. This could have been left for them. They could have done all the advertisement, but this could have been left for them. Hook basically annihilated him. He made his ass tap out, which makes Hook even more popular, where he's already popular as it is. It doesn't make a difference if you like him or not. He is popular because of just he is. There's some people just catch lightning in a bottle, and he's got it. I'm just saying. Now, first match, which for me was one of my favorites, and that was Ed versus Chris. Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. If he won, and that's Eddie Kingston, he gets respect from Chris. Now, I know there's going to be people saying, oh, why do we need these 2 old guys there? Dude, you got Chris Jericho, who's still over. No matter if he's a heel or a face. He's still over. He's still either hated or liked. Then you have Eddie Kingston, who is really over at this point, where I state again, this boy needs to finally go after a title. TNT Championship, somewhere near the end of the year, he should go for it. That is where he should be going. if he maintains how much popularity, he can easily get the TNT title. I believe he should. He shouldn't go after a trios with Pride and Power of Santana Ortiz. He should get his own damn title. This match was very physical, very chop heavy. They went old school chopping and Japanese wrestling here. Now, was it perfectly done? No. You're talking about a guy who's nearly, in his mid-40s? Early to mid-40s for... I don't think Eddie Kingston's in his mid-40s. I think he's early 40s right now. And then you got Chris, who's in his early 50s. He's the same age as me. He's nearly 51, or he's about to be 51. Me and him were born in the same year, but different months. So you got one guy who's in his early 40s and another guy who's in his early 50s. So you're not going to get it perfect. It wasn't. But it doesn't mean it had to be perfectly great wrestling. It was dramatic. It meant something. They told a good story, physically. Now, Eddie won. And he had to. But Chris didn't want to give him his due. He walked away. He says, I can't do it. So that means they're going to continue this, where hopefully there's a stipulation that's going to lead Eddie Kingston down the road to get to a TNT title chance. That's what he needs. That's just me, guys, from below. Now, the AEW, we got a triple threat for the tag titles. Jurassic Express versus Red Dragons versus the Bucks. Guys, I'm sorry. If you guys like Jurassic Express, I don't blame you. I love Luchasaurus. I do. The guy should be on his own, but he's still working with Jack Perry. He's still working for Jungle Boy. And it doesn't mean they're bad together. It's just that eventually you got to break them apart so Jack Perry can be on his own. And Luchasaurus is money. He should be pushed. He should. But he's not. But then you see the other two teams and you wonder, why is Jurassic Express? Why? Why are they champions? Not saying that they're not good in the ring, but the charisma they have is good, but not great. And then you see Red Dragon with Fish and O'Reilly. And not many people will say that's good, but then it would have made sense for the storyline they're in that either the Bucks won or O'Reilly or Fish win. And then move Jurassic Express away and then eventually let them come back and then get the titles back. Because you must progress what's going on with the Bucks and Red Dragon. But we didn't get that. We got Red Dragon and the Bucks losing to Jurassic Express. I don't agree with it. Now, other people will agree. Other people will say it's great to Jurassic Express. It makes no sense for Fish and O'Reilly to win, and who wants to see the Bucks again? But if you're going to progress the story between the Young Bucks, Fish and O'Reilly, and Adam Cole, it needs to be done, and a title would help. A title would help the situation, where they're going to have to make a decision to be with one or the other or both. And that's Adam deciding to be with either one. And it could have helped with a title. I'm just saying. Now, the Face of the Revolution match. I knew there was 3 people out of the 6 that should win it. Orange Cassidy, mainly due to the fact he's still over. Not because I think he should get it. But he's still over with the fans. It will make sense if they're going to push him to go up against Sammy Guevara. Keith Lee. Not that he would win the title. I'm not saying Keith would. But it would make sense if he did. If he was given the opportunity. I truly believe Keith Lee would have been a great candidate. And he could easily could have been the number 1 contender. And then Wardlow. It made perfect sense. If it wasn't going to be these two, it had to be Wardlow. It had to be him. So, who did we see the most in the entire match? We saw Powerhouse Hobb, we saw Wardlow, and we saw Keith Lee. They were at each other's throats most of the time. Yes, Ricky Starks looked really good, and I have to admit, at the end of that match, once he got powerbomb through that, I don't think I got the shot of it. If I do, I'll throw it in my face. But with that ladder at the end of the match, when Wardlow powerbombed his ass onto that ladder, I know he did this to protect his neck and his head, but still, guys, that was a hard hit no matter how you play it. Hopefully, you didn't get too badly hurt. A lot of those moves in there were not easy moves to pull off, particularly that you got stronger guys with smaller guys. Ricky Starks isn't a big guy. And you got Orange Cassidy wasn't a big guy either. So with the other guys throwing around like they were rag dogs, it's easy for someone to get easily hurt. Now, throughout the match, it was actually well structured. Not saying it was the most greatest match you ever seen in a ladder match, especially with Christian there, who is the most seasoned of anyone who's ever done a ladder match, who did help along how the ladder match was going, at least whenever he was spotlighted. I'm not saying he did it perfectly, but at least he did do it pretty well. Seeing Orange Cassidy get thrown over by Keith Lee into what was left of the guys there splatted was not something was bad. It was pretty okay. But in the end, we got Wardlow winning. I was not surprised. I wasn't. It was either one of the three, and I knew probably Wardlow would be the best candidate. I'm just saying. Now, the next match. The match, I'm like, what actually happened there? Was there a botch? Did we just see a really bad botch from Tai Conchi onto Jade Cargill? Because we got the TBS title, Jade Cargill, who came out as, I believe, Jade from Mortal Kombat. I think I got a shot of her. She ain't wearing no bra. You see nips. She looks sexy. The only thing I was worrying about is that lace that was holding her in a match, it could break, and I hope nothing will spill out. Because she don't got no protection this time around. She ain't wearing no nipple covers. She would, if her top ripped, those boobs will pop clean out. You would see them. Now, was it a bad match? There was some botching. In the very beginnings of that match, you see Jade Cargill get dropped on her damn head, and she looked loopy through most of the damn match. I don't know why they did this. Look, I don't blame 100% Tai Conchi. Tai Conchi's a good wrestler, but she's still dealing with someone who's only had 1 year experience in the ring and still learning how to progress and work her craft. And understand, I'm not against Jade either. Jade is still learning how to do the business in the ring as much as she's learning outside the ring. There's no way she's going to know it all at once. Even when it came to Ronda Rousey, or even Kurt Angle for that matter, it took them a little time to get into it. And with her, you could see it. At one point, the ref had to save the match because Jade couldn't kick out. She was stunned. At the very beginning, when she was dropped on her damn head, ow, she looked stunned. And she couldn't kick out. When you see that she finally managed to kick out, 5 or 6 seconds later, and she was already been covered for a while because the ref said, hey, you're in the ropes. And Jade finally kicked out a leg. You know she was stunned. And it took a while to stop being so loopy afterward. But by the end of the match, and she took out Anna Jade at one point because she just got pissed. Eventually she won. She's now 29-0. But it shows that she is not ready for really good wrestlers, or at least decently good wrestlers who at certain points really need to be with other wrestlers. Well, Tai Conchi's not a bad wrestler, but she's not one of the greatest. She can't lead the match. She can work in a match like Jade, but she can't lead the match. So when you saw the match, it looked very sloppy, even though it was not 100% bad. That could have been left for either the buy-in, or could have been left for Rampage, where Jade should be. Not because I think she's garbage, but because until she's really ready to go to Dynamite and do her business all the time, Rampage is where she should be, and to work on a craft. That's where Rampage should be. For those who need more time to develop until, one, they got enough room for you on Rampage, from Rampage to Dynamite, or until you're just ready. Putting her in there, yes, they would say she needs to be there. Then she should be on buy-in, not on the main card. I'm just saying. Now, now this was a damn good match. MJF versus Punk for the collar match. The dog collar match. The bloody collar match. The hit in the head collar match. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Due to the fact that Tony Khan has now purchased ROH, and I will be doing a Gump report. I will be doing one. Admittedly, I haven't filmed it yet, but I will be doing a Gump report on Tony Khan. Hopefully it'll be released tomorrow or Tuesday. But when you see that he now owns ROH, he owns the library of ROH, including CM Punk's original music he played in ROH. Now, personally, I've never heard it before. I've heard his TNA music. I've heard when he was in the WWE's ECW version. But I've never heard it ever played. I've never looked it up, and I never heard the original CM Punk music when he first debuted and appeared and worked in ROH. So when they started playing, I thought, whoa, this is different music. I never heard it before. This is the first time I've ever heard this music. It's a new music. And then when they said that this is his old ROH music, I'm going, oh. So that's the reason for the type of clothes, because I remembered when I did see a little bit of a documentary on CM Punk, and the clothes he used to wear, that was the style he used to wear when he used to be in ROH. So, that was very interesting. Doesn't mean it's never been done before. There are people who've done it before many, many times over. Was this a good match? Hell yes. You definitely see MJF's potential as a heel, being so nasty. You love him. You love to hate him. Then you see CM Punk. Now, was he great in the match? He was okay. Wasn't incredible. Most of the match was covered by MJF. Eventually, next to bleeding, you get... There was one point where I kind of got nervous about when MJF landed on his head. I actually got worried about that. He did land on his head a couple of times. One of them looked pretty nasty. The attacks was cool. Then he calls out Wardlow. And it's in my face. I believe I got the shot. Wardlow was called out. He wanted the diamond ring. And he didn't give it to him because he said he didn't have it. He gave it to Punk. In the face, he wins. We now have two things. CM Punk finally gets a win over MJF because he's got 2-1. Two. I'm doing like this. 2-1. Then you have Wardlow, who's pretty much said, screw you guys, I'm going home. In a sense, to MJF. Screw you, I'm not working for you anymore. Because MJF is going to watch this, and they will address it on Dynamite. You can say, big man, you're done. You're done. But then, I'm sure they're going to say, well, I don't care if I'm done with you, because now I got a job with Tony Khan. And I'm coming for you. So my feeling is this. This Dynamite, or next Dynamite, or this Dynamite, or Rampage, you're going to see Wardlow either have to face MJF, or get attacked by MJF. And eventually we're going to find out that Wardlow is now fired from MJF, but also probably hired by Tony Khan. I'm just saying. Now, let's do the Trios Tornado match of Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and the Sting versus the Hardy brand with Andrade Elios. The person I thought that might show up, I felt that should have shown up, was Jeff. But from what I understand, he is still under contract with WWE, so he can't be shown yet. Supposedly. If I'm wrong, you guys tell me below. But if I understand that he is supposedly still under contract, that's what you got. I would expect him to show up here if he wasn't under contract. It would have actually helped that you see Brother Nero show up and help whoop some ass. Was this a good match? I was a bit worried about Cassidy when he was dealing with Sammy Guevara on top of one of the signs. I believe I got a shot of it when they splatted because they were checking him over because he took a hard hit. Sammy decided, I saw it coming. I said, no, they're not going to do a Spanish fly. Sammy wouldn't do a Spanish... Why, Sammy? Why, Cassie? Why? But he did like this. Next thing you know, they do a Spanish fly onto the... I believe I have that shot. I'm showing it again. The problem with that was that since the see it in disrespect, the tables need to break as the way they break as long as they got grip. Remember, the tables usually break like this. They don't slide out all the time. They're supposed to have a solid foundation so when you fall on them, they break your fall. In this situation, they didn't do that because they were on the ramp. The ramp was slick. One table broke where the other one just went flat. And he took a hard splat. Now, hopefully he's fine. But we're still talking about 10 to 15 feet in the air easily, or more. That could have been almost 20 feet in the air. They do a Spanish fly. One table was able to hold the fall while the other one just collapsed because the ramp was slick. So in the end, Sting, well, it was Darby Allin who got the win, trying to nail a coffin drop on Matt, which he didn't really nail him much, but he did nail him. So they won. For me personally, I gotta say that it was a good match, but I would have liked to see Matt Hardy's brother, if he was still available, Brother Nero. Now, we got how many matches left? We got 1, 2, 3 more to talk about, and then we're done. The next one is Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, where the title was on the line. You had a hater there. You had a rebel there who, for her age, I think she's like 42, 44 years old, I think. Great cleavage. Looked good. I do not agree. I'm sorry. Anybody else is happy that Thunder Rosa didn't win? I don't agree, because now what happens with Thunder Rosa? They've been building this woman up for months upon months. Now, either her contract is up or they don't have anything for her, because she should have won it. Because at this point in Britt Baker's career, she doesn't need to have the title make her mean something. She's reached the point where she doesn't need the title. You could have let Thunder Rosa keep it for easily a couple of months, and if you had to drop it back to her, you could do it, and it wouldn't have hurt a Britt Baker. But Britt Baker retains that damn title, which I do not agree. Now, was the match good? Yes, it was. It was good. But I do believe at one point Thunder Rosa was dropped on her head. A lot of dropping on the heads happened that didn't look very good, because they were really trying hard to make this show really mean something. So they were a bit more rougher than normal. But, admittedly, it was a good match. Admittedly, easily more better than Tai Conchi and Jade Cargill's match. It was. In the end, you know who won, but I still don't agree that Thunder Rosa should have jobbed there. She should have won. I'm just saying. Now, we got 2 more left. The one I love the most, because of the ending. Moxley versus Brian Danielson. Now, at first, this match was very technical. Both of them wanted to make the other submit. Definitely wanted to show their dominance over each other. Which kind of made me feel like anyone else, if you thought about a Kurt Angle versus the one who will not be named, that's what we got here. Actually, you know what? Benoit. I'm not saying Benoit's a good guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm going by his performance when he worked with a Kurt Angle. Their matches are legendary, guys. This is not about what he's done. This is about rating the match quality of the 2 wrestlers, not the people outside of wrestling, the 2 wrestlers in the ring, and how they made the story. This gives me that type of vibe, that these 2 are going to have several matches before they finally team up together and show how dangerously dominant they both are. Because you got a whole bunch of knee strikes. You got a whole bunch of head strikes, elbow strikes, punches. At one point, they were headbutting each other so hard, either they tried to show Moxley bleeding by so many headbutts, or that was actual bleeding because they were doing headbutts. Hard ones. That wasn't a joke. It reached a very rough state. It did. It reached so bad that when I saw Brian Danielson get the turn inside out and his neck jink off the mat, I said, oh, please don't be bad. that one was a bad hit he got. Now, I don't think I got that shot. If I do, I'll stick it in my face, but I don't think I got it. But essentially speaking, guys, that was a rough-ass match. But when it was all said and done, Moxley actually beat Brian Danielson. He did. But here's the kicker. They could not stand it. Well, one couldn't stand it. Brian Danielson couldn't believe that he lost, and he got mad at the ref. And then when Moxley raised his hand, they just started fighting all over again. But the thing that got me so freaking happy is in my face. I know I got a shot of him. William Regal appears. A mentor to both men. Someone who worked with the one who not be named. He is one of the greatest legends that this industry has. He earned it. And he was well loved in NXT. Whether you like NXT or not, the fans loved him. And when he appeared, and no one could believe it was there, I didn't know he was there. The moment he appeared, they were cheering William Regal's name. And he didn't do anything other than get in the ring, face them both, tell them to stop, smack them both in their damn faces, tell them, behave yourselves. Headbutts a Moxley in the face. First, let me crank this back. He gets in the ring. He tries to stop them. He pushes Moxley back because he wanted to get his hands on Brian. And he got smacked in the face, and Regal headbutted him back, saying, stop it. Then Brian Danielson's all smug, like, yeah, I know it. Hey, how you doing? He smacked him in the mouth. He's going, I love that part. You know why? 3 things. 1, it showed Moxley can listen. It shows Brian Danielson could be put in his place. And it also shows they need a manager. A manager. At this point, I don't expect William Regal to be the general manager of, or the managing director, like in NWA, of Dynamite. He's got to start somewhere. He would make the perfect general manager or managing director of Dynamite or Rampage, but not now. Give him a managerial job. Let him take care of Mox. Let him take care of Brian Danielson. That's what I think would be great for him. I'm just saying. Finally, the last match of the night. Adam versus Adam. Paige versus Cole. Was this a good match? Hell yes, it was. It was a good match. Now, the crowd was kind of tired by that point. Yes, they managed to ramp back up near the end. But by the time after Moxley, after Regal, after Brian had their moment, they were spent. So you can hear that the crowd was like down to here. And it took almost until near the end that they finally come out. And by the time that Red Dragon came out and Dark Order came out, they were tired. But they cared about the match enough to cheer their asses off. In Florida, I think it was Orlando, Florida, they tried to cheer their asses off even though they were tired as hell. In the end, at one point, they were booing a Hangman Page because he was starting to act like Adam Cole. And it was getting people upset that he was doing his moves. But he pulled them off, and he did win. Now, do I believe he should have won? Yes, at this point. It's still too early for either Brian Danielson, Adam Cole, CM Punk, or anyone else to go after that title yet with Hangman Page. Whether you believe he should be champ or not, it's too soon. I say somewhere near the end of the year, if he's got to drop it, then he drop it. It's too soon for him to drop it now. It's just not right. It will mess up everything that's being scheduled around it unless they actually do it, and they better have a good storyline to go with it. But I believe it's too soon. Now, was this a good show? Like I said, it was good at the very beginning of this review. It's here. Sacrifice, match quality compared, is here. Only due to the fact there was more matches. If you're talking about match to match, they're mostly dead even. Admittedly, this is a little bit better than this, but it doesn't mean they both were bad. They were both great shows if you didn't care about the production value of audio, video, and lighting. If you do that, Rampage, Dynamite, and Revolution always going to be here. And Impact is going to be here. I don't know why I added that in. I just did. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. Bye.